The Chiefs are facing a very difficult free agent decision. Should they bring back linebacker Nick Bolton, or should they extend right guard Trey Smith? To some of you, this is probably a very easy answer, but unfortunately, the Chiefs probably won't be able to extend both of these guys. So, in this video, I'm going to dive into who I believe the Chiefs should try to extend and which guy is unfortunately probably going to have to find another team in 2025. You guys are listening to the KC Sports Report. My name is Michael Darcy. Hit that like button on this video and subscribe to this channel for more of the best daily Chiefs content on YouTube. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into these numbers coming from Spot Track. Now, this is Trey Smith. Trey Smith is projected to have a market value of $19.7 million a season. That is an averaged annual salary projection, again, coming from Spot Track. And while I love Trey Smith, I think he's a fantastic right guard, the Chiefs cannot afford to pay this. As you can see right here, the market value is saying that he's around $78 million a season. That's just not, or $78 million for a contract, like a 4-year contract, around $20 million. The Chiefs cannot make that happen. Unfortunately, when you're as good as the Chiefs are, you need to make sacrifices in order to pay a Patrick Mahomes, in order to pay a Chris Jones. And just looking at Trey Smith and the market value that we're currently looking at, I mean, I just don't see any world in which the Chiefs could pay $78 million over 4 years to Trey Smith. So while I think that it'd be awesome to re-sign Trey Smith, $78 million over 4 years, that's not going to cut it. And at the same time, that's just the projected, market estimate. He could very easily get $20 to $22 million a season. And as a right guard, the Chiefs can't do that. They've got to go out and they got to get a tackle, whether it is someone in free agency or the draft, or they have to trade for someone. You can't put $20 million into a right guard, especially when you already have, Jawan Taylor at tackle, who you just paid a lot of money. He's top 5 on this team in payroll. You also have Joe Tooney. You can't have two of the highest paid guards in football. And so I think that probably Trey Smith is going to have to go elsewhere unless he takes a team-friendly discount. But going over Nick Bolton, this is Nick Bolton's market estimate, also according to Spot Track. He is going to see an average salary of $12.3 million. And the market value is giving him a contract for 4 years, and I believe that says $49 million. Yeah, $49 million. So I think that this is a lot more realistic for the Chiefs. But even then, paying $12.3 million to a linebacker when they could go out and draft that position, or they could go out in free agency and maybe fill it for cheaper, I think that Nick Bolton is also someone that could be expendable. But if we're just talking about these two players, these two free agents, and who is more likely to be on this team next season, I think Nick Bolton has to be the candidate that you circle, that you say, you know what, the Chiefs need to go out and they need to pay this guy, because we have seen so many hit or miss linebackers. We're not super far removed from the Damian Wilson and the Anthony Hitchens era in Kansas City. And so Nick Bolton has been a breath of fresh air. He has been someone that you can rely on, and he's not maybe the best linebacker in coverage, but he makes up for that in his downhill tackling. He is one of the best linebackers, in the NFL at just pure tackling. He is a leader on this defense, and I think that probably holds more weight over Trey Smith. The Chiefs can go out and find someone, whether it's in the draft or free agency, that can play right guard. I mean, shoot, if we just look at the Chiefs roster right now, they drafted Kingsley Suamataia, and Wanye Morris is also capable of playing right guard. So I just think that when you look at both of these positions and the level of importance, yes, it's important to protect Patrick Mahomes, but it's also important to have a good defense. And Nick Bolton has been part of that defensive shift. And going into this offseason, I had a very different perspective on Nick Bolton. I wasn't someone that thought that Nick Bolton was that important. I thought, okay, listen, he's been a great fit in this defense, but the Chiefs could probably find someone that's better in coverage, that could basically be a similar Nick Bolton type. And so I was okay with the Chiefs, maybe letting him walk in free agency. Now, going down to the Super Bowl, I had the opportunity to talk to Steve Spagnuolo, talk to Brendan Daly, talk to some of the members of that defensive coaching staff, and they just rave about Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton is kind of the signal caller of the defense. He creates blitz packages mid-game that Steve Spagnuolo integrates into this defense. He is someone that is extremely valuable to this team, and I really didn't think that he was someone that was a must-have on this defense. But after going down to New Orleans and asking firsthand, I think this coaching staff loves Nick Bolton so much, he's probably going to come back. The Chiefs could make that investment into the linebacking group. They did with Drue Tranquill, but they could do that with Nick Bolton because he's the perfect guy for Steve Spagnuolo. He's the guy that, Spags wants to lead this defense, and so I think that carries a lot of weight when it comes time for Brett Veach to make that decision. But you guys are probably wondering, what is the general consensus around who should be signed and who should be, seen as a departure for this team? I'm going to tell you guys who you actually voted for to be a Chief next season after this ad break. The Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway is the place to be. With over 1,500 slot machines, 35 table games, 4 restaurants, and a new ESPN Bet sportsbook, there are plenty of ways to find your fun. For more chances to win, follow them on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the Rice Real Estate Group, Kansas City's premier partner in real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, you'll receive a tailored experience designed just for you. Specializing in residential, commercial, and investment properties, the dedicated team over at the Rice Real Estate Group helps guide you through every transaction, including navigating those short, complex sales. With a commitment to personal one-on-one service, they will ensure that you are supported every step of the way. You can achieve your goals with expertise, care, and a customized approach that truly makes a difference. Ready to make your next move? The Rice Real Estate Group is here to make it happen. For more information, call 816-819-9333. Huge shout out to all the sponsors that support this channel all off season long. But getting back into the main topic of this video, I asked you guys, I asked my great fan base on YouTube who they believe should be re-signed by this team. And while there was a big portion of you guys that said the Chiefs should just try to re-sign both of them, that's not realistic. But I asked you guys, and this is what you voted on. I said, which free agent should be the Kansas City Chiefs' top priority to re-sign? And out of 2,400 people, 64% of you voted that Nick Bolton should be the top priority for this Chiefs team. And Trey Smith should be 36% of the Chiefs' priority. So that's a pretty big number. I was actually surprised that Nick Bolton got that amount of the votes, but I think that that's probably the correct line in thinking. I think that Nick Bolton is more important to this defense. While Trey Smith is a baller, he's one of the best right guards in football. You cannot pay premium money at that position when you already have so many other contracts, when you already have so many guys that you think could confidently take over for Trey Smith and do an all right job. Now, you're still going to miss Trey Smith. He's, the best right guard in football. But they need to do what's best for the future of this team. And I don't think that Trey Smith is involved in those plans. I think you could see that with the Chiefs drafting other guys in last year's draft. You could find other guys to, make up the interior of this offensive line. You've already got Creed Humphrey at center. You've already got Joe Thuney at left guard. You could find someone else to, fill in at right guard, and you could still win a championship. I mean, for goodness sakes, Stefan Wisniewski, I believe, was the left guard in 2019 when they won the Super Bowl, and he came out of retirement. So the Chiefs can find ways to get good at the position, even if they are taking a minor hit in the talent that they do bring in. So I do think that Nick Bolton should be the top priority for this Chiefs team in free agency. We're going to have to wait and find out what they end up doing. Again, I think that Trey Smith's going to set the market. I think he's probably going to get $20 to $22 million a season. And Nick Bolton, he's probably not going to get the market estimate of $12.3 million a year, but I could see him maybe getting $14 to $15 million a season. And that's doable if you're the Chiefs. You could kind of restructure some money, find a spot for that contract, but Trey Smith getting 20 to 22 a year, that's not going to happen. You cannot give what? $100 million to a guard? That's not, can't do that. Just can't do that. So I want to hear from you guys down in the comments section below. Who do you think should be the Chiefs' top priority to extend this offseason? And who do you think finds another team for the 2025 season? That's all I have for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more of the best daily Chiefs content on YouTube. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video. And as always, go Chiefs.